Hello and welcome to the Arts Overlook. I'm your host, Ian Goldsmith. Every episode highlights arts and entertainment from around the Cedar Valley. Now, I don't want to be that guy that starts every conversation with some comment about the weather, but I feel like this needs to be addressed. We still have a lot of snow in March. If you were to survey the people of Cedar Falls about their current thoughts on winter, I imagine the most common answer would be something to the effect of, but fear not, Cedar Falls. The Arts Overlook is here to help you keep your sanity until spring. In this episode, we look at some creative snow sculptures from around town. We also preview a student art exhibit at the Hearst Center, and we sit down for a fascinating interview with two young gentlemen who are hosting an exciting upcoming film series. Don't go away. The Spring is Almost Here episode of Arts Overlook starts now.
Art is thriving in the Cedar Valley. It's everywhere. But if you don't know where to look, you could miss it. This is your local arts perspective. This is the Arts Overlook.
One of the best ways to beat the late winter blues is to visit the Hearst Center. The Hearst Center is arguably the biggest hotspot for arts in Cedar Falls, and they've been particularly busy as of late. Our next two features preview events that are both part of the center's busy schedule. The first feature highlights the student art exhibit called Developing Expressions, which displays artwork from Cedar Falls students K-12. After that, I'll sit down with local film critics Chris Lambert and Travis Bean and talk about their super cool upcoming film series, Colossus. Sunday, March 2nd marked the kickoff of the annual art show called Developing Expressions. Each year, the James and Merle Hearst Center for the Arts hosts this exhibit to display artwork from local students. Every K-12 art teacher in Cedar Falls picks pieces of art to display of their students' work. Each year, there is an estimated 500 or more people that come to view the student art gallery.
This is a huge reception. I was told that a lot of people would come, and in spite of the weather, there are, as you can see, a lot of people here. It's amazing.
The event is sponsored each year by the organization Friends of the Hearst Center.
We've been doing the K-12 Developing Expressions art show at least for the past 10 years. We are an entity of the Hearst Center. We help raise money to support the arts for the Hearst Center. We are sponsoring the reception today, so that's why we're here helping. And we just want to let everyone know how much we support arts in the Cedar Valley.
The exhibit displays art from students of all ages. But don't let the word student fool you. Many of these pieces are truly impressive.
Some of these pieces of artwork are amazing. I'm floored by it. In fact, I can't wait to get back there and look myself.
There's such a range of things, and there's some real some of these kids are so imaginative, and you can see kids that will probably go on and become professional artists, I would hope, because they've got the talent to do it. It's really exciting to see what they're doing.
It's cool because some of them, like the ones from the high school and stuff, are really awesome. They're like really cool, and I like looking at them.
I like the fact they don't judge the work, that it's not a contest. It's just a collection of representative work from different levels of students in the community, and so I really like that because I think it allows for a lot more freedom of styles of expression. That, the students don't have to conform to someone else's scheme of what makes for good art, and so I really like the diversity of styles that I've seen.
There certainly is diversity in the styles. The art on display includes drawings, paintings, pottery and ceramics, weaves, sculptures, and so much more. The Developing Expressions exhibit is a great opportunity unlike any other for these students. It gives them an opportunity to show their work to their friends and family and to feel a sense of accomplishment for their creative endeavors.
I think it's fantastic. I mean, it gives the kids a chance to share their work with friends, and Maya's had quite a few of her former teachers. Her elementary art teacher was the first person that she met here, and they came over and looked at the work. So I think it's just a great opportunity to, bring art into the community and let the kids feel a sense of real accomplishment for what they've done.
Very big honor for the teachers as well to have their students show so well.
The Developing Expressions Gallery will continue to be shown through March 30th. The full exhibit is free and open to the public. Make sure you head down to the Hearst Center for the Art to see these incredible youth works of art. For Cedar Falls Community Television, I'm Ian Goldsmith. Welcome back to Arts Overlook. Today we have a very special feature. We're going to talk about one of my favorite topics to talk about, which is movies and films. So I'd like to welcome to the stage Travis and Chris. Really glad that you guys could be here with me today, and we're going to have some fun. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Awesome. Well, the first question we should probably go right into is just tell me a little bit about each of you, specifically how your interest in film kind of developed, maybe how you guys kind of got connected with each other, and ultimately how this film series came about.
Okay. Well, I know for me, I just always liked watching movies. I think the first few movies I ever saw were Little Mermaid and Predator and Bloodsport. It was a weird combination of movies. That's awesome. Yeah, I was like 6 in watching those. But you know, as I started to watch movies, and Fight Club came out in '99, it was a huge sort of pivotal moment for me, watching it on HBO again and again, thinking, this movie's blowing my mind. What's going on? Movies can do this? And then getting up into high school and college, I'd see movies that I thought were really deep, and then would watch or read these film criticisms by reviewers because I wanted to know more and find out what they were saying, and I just feel like they would miss the point, which sort of got me into writing about film on my own because I thought that there was an angle that was missing.
Yeah, same with me. I also had a 1999 movie that was important to me, which was Magnolia. And I kind of had the same experience. I knew why I loved it, but I wasn't sure like what the deeper meanings were behind it. And that was like the first movie review I ever wrote was about Magnolia. And over the years, we kept writing, and we came together on an analysis we each did for 50-50 because we were complaining about how Rex Reed missed the point on 50-50. And we both wrote about the exact same thing.
No way.
So that's when we kind of connected. We were both like, we don't like how movie criticism works. Like, what can we do together? So we started talking for years, like email chains and.
Yeah, it started. 50-50 came out August to September-ish of 2011, and just started talking, emailing, moving on to the Facebook friending, moving on to text messaging, moving on to like. Well, it's
like a real relationship.
Right on. So your friendship is basically built around movies specifically.
Yeah,
pretty much.
We had no idea who each other were. I was from Ohio, from Illinois.
Way cool.
Yeah.
What brings you to Cedar Falls? I'm curious.
My girlfriend works at John Deere, so
right on.
She's making all the money, so I came here.
My girlfriend's girlfriend works at John Deere, so.
Right on. And it's a magical thing, and now you guys get to just critique movies together.
It's awesome.
So tell me a little bit about the actual film series, kind of the idea behind it, and kind of basically just how the concept of this series came about.
Everything that we've done is an online component, but one of the big joys for us about watching movies and learning about movies is the discussion. And there's only so much discussion you can have online. It's fun when you get to sit down with friends and talk about movies, and we wanted to do something like that with strangers. Just this idea of giving people a venue that they could come together, watch a movie, and then have the opportunity to talk about it with each other, and then have us there to sort of facilitate exploring the confusion or deeper questions that come up.
Yeah, we feel like one of the things we didn't like about movie criticism, it's people talking at you. They put themselves on a pedestal and they tell you how to feel about a movie. I personally learn the most about movies when I'm discussing them with people.
For sure.
So that's what we want to do.
Yeah, our main focus on our film criticism is exploration. Like, there are plenty of film critics that you can go to for before you see a movie, and they'll tell you the synopsis, is it good or bad? But what we do is after you've watched a movie, you can come to our website, you can tweet at us, find us on Facebook, and ask us questions or read what we've written about films for after you've watched it. The themes, explaining the ending, sort of that kind of nature. And we wanted to bring that to a public venue.
Definitely. For me, that's almost more interesting than you know, hearing about it before you watch it, because I think it's valuable on both ends. Before a movie, it's good to know, you know, like, is this worth my time, basically, to watch. But I get, like you guys, I get really into that concept of, you know, what was the deeper means, what was this symbolism here. You know, I just really love dissecting movies, and so I think it's really cool that you guys are bringing something like this to Cedar Falls. With the film series, how did you guys pick what movies you were, like, what are the movies, and how did you kind of decide which movies you're going to do?
The 6 movies we're going to do, well, first of all, we had a list of like over 50 movies at one point.
Yeah.
We were like, basically we were picking out movies that were kind of popular, movies people had seen, knew about, but may have watched very passively in the past and may not have like understood all the deeper meanings behind them. So we were trying to pick movies with basically deeper meanings, deeper themes that you have to work to understand.
Sure.
So the 6 movies we have are Inception, Spirited Away, The Shining,
Fight Club.
Fight Club, No Country for Old Men, and Another Earth. So those are the ones we went with.
Yeah, we sort of, with the idea of passive viewing and active viewing, it's sort of giving people the toolbox that they need to really dig into a movie. So Another Earth is a very artsy, independent film that I think could be intimidating to people that don't like that kind of thing. It's not the blockbuster. It has sort of an ambiguous plot. It's slower paced. But when you're actively viewing, that movie's rich as can be. Where passively viewing, you might be very, very bored by it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, when you passively watch a movie, we just want to make it clear, like, it's basically just letting the movie wash over you. You enjoy it for what it is. When you actively view, you're looking for these inroads that lead you to deeper themes, deeper meanings.
Every movie, like every person, sort of has a skeletal structure to it. So a lot of people might say, when they hear active viewing, passive viewing, you're reading too much into movies, which isn't true. When you know that there's an interior that what you're seeing has to be dressed over, it would be like seeing somebody that has a femur sticking out of their sternum. You'd say, oh, that person has a leg sticking out of their chest. Yeah. Films are very similar, except their skeletal structure is a logic structure. So the cool thing is, when you're active viewing, it's like being on the Magic School Bus. You get to go inside the film and see the inner workings. Yeah. And when a film works, like The Shining, like a lot of Kubrick films, and like the great ones like Citizen Kane or something like Fight Club, they're very tight with everything connected. Mm-hmm. You see this beautiful geometric pattern where everything's connected to everything else. But when you have a movie that's logic structure is flawed, something like Spider-Man 3, which I hate and take every opportunity to complain about. Right. It's like you go inside and you just see roads that end with drops into large pits, buildings that are unfinished. It's a very crazy, chaotic place when you start trying to make the logic connections between it.
For sure. So with all that said, let's do some active viewing, shall we? I think this will be fun. So do one of you want to introduce the first clip that we're going to be watching?
It's Inception. I believe Cobb, who is Leonardo DiCaprio, is going into, I don't know what you'd call it.
A den?
Yeah.
Almost an opium den?
Yeah, people are being put to sleep and they're living out dreams for years and years and years.
To clarify, if anybody hasn't seen the movie, they're literally going to sleep. Not, you know.
Yeah, these people are going to sleep and they're spending 40 hours at a time, or like a full day. The dream world takes longer than the real time. They're spending all this time in a dream state because they like the dream more than they like reality.
Cool. All right. Well, let's check out this clip from Inception and we'll talk about it. Hard to active view while we were doing that, but I'll let you guys, the professionals, cue us in a little bit on what I was maybe trying to actively view for.
Yeah. Well, so the inroad that's going on there is third-party dialogue, which we have an entire list of active viewing inroads that we talk about a lot, but this one's third-party dialogue, which...
Well, I mean, that's just basically you can, things people are saying that, usually when we're passive viewing, we're just watching what the main characters are saying and we're concentrating on what they're going towards. Mm-hmm. But when you kind of listen to what other people are cluing you in on, in this case, it's the fact that Cobb is having trouble distancing the dream from the reality. For him, he's lost his wife, and when he goes to a dream state, his wife can come back. So for him to get over his problems, he has to separate dreams from reality at some point.
Mm-hmm. And here you have this third-party person saying dreams and reality merge, or sometimes your dreams become your reality, which then you see that it cuts straight to Cobb, which is a telling thing, especially because the main confusing factor in this movie is Cobb's story arc. When you get to the end of the film, people are going, what?
What was real, what wasn't real.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And when you start to pay attention to third-party dialogue like that, you start to pick up on these inroads that allow you to make hypotheses that you can use to come up with conclusions.
Yeah, and that's such a small part of the third-party dialogue in this movie. We'll talk about it way more when we actually do the series, but a lot of stuff being said around him like clues you in on his mindset and like what the ending actually means.
Yeah, super cool. Let's do another clip. Do you want to introduce the second clip?
Oh yeah, this is Another Earth, one of my favorite movies. So for Another Earth, we have Rhoda, who's this character that has been in a car crash at the beginning of the movie, and she kills this guy's wife and son. And she goes to jail for a little bit, comes out, but she was a minor at the time, and she's been having a very rough time. And she starts working as a janitor at a school, and this guy's the other janitor there, and he takes an action to where he pours bleach in his ears, and she goes to see him in the hospital.
Wow, okay. Let's check out Another Earth. All right, I've never seen this movie, and besides what you just told me, I have no idea what was going on in that scene. Enlighten us, professionals.
You oftentimes have an ancillary character with an arc that is a juxtaposition to or highlights the same arc of the main character. In this case, Rhoda, the girl in the bed, is very upset with herself, and the movie's been her trying to seek forgiveness. And this character, the janitor character, has been able to forgive himself. So his arc and the ultimate action he ends up taking becomes for her sort of a foreshadow of a choice that she can make. We know that she's either building to a self-destructive moment or a redemptive moment. And in seeing this character he's also blind because he poured bleach in his eyes. A self-destructive moment because he's unable to forgive. It sort of clues you in on what could be in store for her, but then...
Well, I was going to say that she spends most of this movie trying to have she kills a family when she gets in the car crash earlier, and she spends the whole movie trying to get this guy to forgive her, the husband of the family. And then what we see when we have this janitor juxtaposed against her is that this janitor was never able to forgive himself, thus why he's such a sad state. So it becomes a tale of self-forgiveness is almost more important than being forgiven by others. And that's what she learns like in that moment.
You can see her start to write in the hand the letters, which a lot of people will Google and come to our site, what's written in the hand in Another Earth? And she starts to write forgive. And right when it cut there, we can see a tear start to come out of his eye because that's the thing that's most emotional. So that's really like the key scene in that movie in terms of understanding what's going on.
Yeah, it's powerful. Even just that little 30-second clip of them in the hospital. All right, we got one more movie clip. You want to introduce this one?
Yep, it is The Shining, which might not need an introduction. It's going to be 3 clips of first of the son, and then 2 more of Jack, who's Jack Nicholson.
Cool. Is there any specific element that we should look?
Reflections.
Mirrors.
Like
the duality that's there in mirrors.
Way cool. Let's watch some clips from The Shining.
Oh boy.
Well, that is creepy. Hopefully we didn't lose our viewers after showing parts of The Shining on Channel 15. But okay, my mind's racing. Tell me, what were we watching? What are some active viewing things happening in those 3 scenes?
Well, I think the obvious thing is the fact that you see reflections a lot. And what's great about this movie is the progression of those reflections. At first we see the kid directly looking in the mirror, and then we have the shot of Jack Nicholson. And it's all building towards this moment where he's looking right at the caretaker. And the way their faces are positioned makes it look like he's looking into the mirror. You'll notice all the mirrors are behind the caretaker, which is a literal way to show you that he's looking in the mirror, but also the way their faces are arranged lets you know that. And that cues you into some of the deeper themes that are going on.
Yeah, there's an intense duality throughout the movie, which we see with the little kid talking. He has himself, but also this other person inside of him, it seems. They're the two twin girls that keep appearing throughout the movie. They're the mirror shots, and then there's this idea of people repeating in life. The caretaker or butler that we see there has the same last name but a different first name. And Jack Nicholson's like, no, you were named this. He's like, no, my name's this. But it is the same person. So then it starts to clue you in on what's going on when the confusing moment comes at the end of this movie. The inroad that we see there, though, is motifs in mise-en-scène, which a motif is a repeating element in a movie. With The Godfather, the color orange repeats before death. With Another Earth, there's a second Earth that's actually in the movie that keeps coming up. Dreams in Inception. Fight Club, with this idea of identity and who you are and schisms in that.
Yeah.
So when you have motifs that keep appearing, that's a clue and an inroad to something deeper going on. But then also mise-en-scène is anything that's appearing in the frame. The pots that are in the background, maybe there's a fire, maybe it's just close-ups all the time, maybe cats keep appearing.
All the best movies, I think, have cats that always appear. That's personal opinion, but yeah, with The Shining especially, I think that's a great example of Stanley Kubrick is such a genius, and it's amazing how detailed he would get and how specific and even seemingly tiny some of these details are that it would take years for people to even notice, oh my gosh, he did this through the whole film.
It did take people years, actually.
Yeah.
We're still writing about it.
Yeah, exactly. Then that's why we do things like these film series.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so to kind of tie everything back together with the film series, for the people viewing this, what would you say is the big reason why someone should go to the film series, or what are you hoping that the people that do go will get out of the film series?
I'm hoping people come out for better understanding of movies, basically. A new way to watch a movie. Of course, you can always watch a movie passively. I mean, that's fun. I watched Commando passively because I think that movie's great. But you could watch a movie actively, too. You can look for things and you can form a better understanding of a movie. Personally, that's the most rewarding part of what I do, is when I can understand a movie better, understand what a director or a writer was trying to do.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think the same, that we really do want to provide sort of a service for people. We think it's a fun opportunity. It would be something that if we heard that this was a thing going on, we would want to go to. So to be able to get something like that happening is exciting for us. I mean, we want to meet people, connect with people, and have these discussions. It helps us as film critics learn. What should we be talking about? What are the questions that people have? When do these questions come up? We can write better and address topics with more precision the more we interact with people. So we're hoping people come out to enjoy themselves, also to help us, and just to connect.
Have a good time.
Have a good time, yeah.
Definitely. Well, I absolutely think it's going to be a good time. For those of you watching at home and you want to make it out to the film series, the dates are, they're always going to be at the Hearst Center, and they're going to be every Tuesday evening starting at 6 p.m. The first one is Tuesday, March 25th. They will be showing Inception. On Tuesday, April 1st, they will be showing Spirited Away. On April 8th, they will be showing The Shining. April 15th will be Fight Club. April 22nd is No Country for Old Men. And finally, on April 29th, they conclude with Another Earth. Again, those all start at 6 p.m. You'll watch the movie and then have a discussion afterwards. Admission is free and open to the public. And this is absolutely a cool opportunity to see some great movies and have even greater discussion.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I really hope that people come out. You can bet that I'll definitely be there. And thank you guys so much for being here today with us.
Yeah,
No problem.
thank you. And if anybody wants to check out our website, it's just filmcolossus.com.
Yeah.
That's where we're transferring. We just got a new site up and running, and we're transferring a lot of our older material there, but there's lots of good stuff.
Way cool. Filmcolossus.com. Make sure you go. All right, we will be back on the Arts Overlook. Thank you to Chris and Travis for taking the time to have such a great discussion in our studio. This is just a fraction of the stimulating discussion that you can have by attending any or all sessions of their upcoming series. If you want to learn more about the film series, the student art exhibit, or any other events at the Hearst Center, you can visit their website at www.hearstartscenter.com. Also, make sure you check out Chris and Travis's website at www.filmcolossus.com. As always, our motto on the Arts Overlook is that art is everywhere. Well, for as much as we're all sick of winter, I wanted to end this snowy season on a positive and artistic note. As we close out this episode, enjoy these snow sculptures from around Cedar Falls. Until next time, I'm Ian Goldsmith, and thanks for watching.